this is Rochelle with VPro Marketing and Sales. I am here to help you to master marketing, strengthen your sales so you can leave a legacy. Today we are going to talk about why nonprofits should invest in content. All content marketing is sharing valuable information with your audience in a way that they'll accept it and it brings them value. Point blank, period. Sharing content that is valuable to your audience, okay? And we're going to talk about in a moment why that is important. But I realized that a lot of nonprofits don't utilize this. I think it's about 80% or so for profits, but a lot of nonprofits, they don't use this. And I truly believe that this, implementing content marketing is a great way to share why someone should believe in your vision, why someone should believe in your mission, and how it could be a win-win. First thing you want to understand is what is content marketing, and then you want to figure out how can I include content marketing in my current marketing strategy. Because there's a lot of nonprofits who are not using content marketing, you guys are missing out on a lot of benefits, okay? I had just the other day, I was doing a training and someone said, hey, I'm trying to figure out if I should invest in SEO, There's a lot of tactics per se that people are focusing on. But, if you find yourself as a founder of your nonprofit who is doing most of the work, and if you have staff, you might have limited staff. The thing is when it comes to marketing, you want to find ways, how can I maximize each and every effort? Let's kind of talk about the benefits of content marketing. So content marketing, when you do it and you do it right, it drives traffic to your website. So you're thinking about, should I invest in SEO? Invest in content marketing, right? Because the more information you put on your website that's valuable and you're using the right words, right, it's going to bring people to your website. The value is going to bring people to your website, okay? Content marketing builds trust, credibility, and authority. When you are talking about things that you're passionate about, or you're sharing statistics or results or just information people didn't know that's related to your mission and your cause, that's going to position you as someone that knows what they're talking about. Another benefit of content marketing, it helps your ideal donor or supporter or your ideal client. I don't know who you're marketing to right now, right? It helps them through the buyer's journey. So let's rewind and kind of talk about what is the buyer's journey. Whenever someone is considering to make a decision or you want them to take an action or make a purchase, there are some phases that they go through. So there's 3 phases. It's the awareness phase. The awareness phase is typically when they're just becoming to understand that there's a problem or there's a solution, okay? So as it relates to your nonprofit, maybe they never knew that what your nonprofit stands for, that was a problem in the community. So you got to have content that shares the information that enlightens people about the problem, okay? That's the awareness stage. Then the consideration stage is usually when they're thinking about taking an action. So as a nonprofit, you want to develop content that kind of gives people maybe some tips on what they can do to help you combat this problem in the community. And I'm not saying that is not the time where you're asking for donations. That's the time where you're saying, based on the problem, this is what you can do in your own personal life, right? To help us to eradicate this problem. All right? That's the consideration stage. The third stage is the decision stage. Once someone is aware of the problem and they're kind of like, man, I see the importance, like what can I do to help? And you give them tips to help. And then, you also have content that pretty much tells them to take an action, right? So let's say you had a piece of content that talks about like, hey, if you donate $100, this is going to help us feed 10 families, whatever it is, donate today. So if you have content that really tells them to take an action, right, that is also going to help you to see results from your content marketing. See, I say that because a lot of people are like, oh, marketing, I don't get direct results. Yeah, if you're not starting with the end in mind. See, content marketing is not just about sharing valuable information. It's sharing that information so people can trust you, so they get to know you, so they get to like you. And when they like all of that, then they'll probably be more prone to open up their wallet or their purse. Do you follow me? All right, perfect. So, content marketing helps move your ideal client, your ideal donor, your ideal supporter, whoever you're marketing to, through the buyer's journey. That right there, if I stop right there, that should be more than enough reason why you should invest in content marketing. But there's more. All right, so content marketing, like I said earlier, it does help with SEO, okay? The very basics of search engine optimization. Gosh, that was a tongue twister. Search engine optimization, all that is being able to come up on the first page in search engines. So you have to understand, what are people typing? What are people searching for as it relates to your cause, okay? We'll talk more about that maybe in another video. All right, but it helps to boost your SEO. It helps you to bring you up on the first or second pages on Google or on other search engines if you're doing it correctly and consistently, right? Also, it is very cost effective. So once again, if you find yourself as a founder or just a nonprofit with limited resources, but you might have some time, you can learn this, okay? There's a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, I just know of a few. There's a couple companies where you can just invest your time and you can learn about content marketing at no cost. At no cost, okay. At no cost. The only cost is that you have to invest your time. So if you're passionate about your mission and your vision, you're like, listen, I'd be willing to pay someone, but I just don't have the money right now. You got to invest your time. So you got to put some skin in the game somewhere. Okay. So yes, you can learn content marketing and then you can start employing it for your organization. All right. So what are some examples of content marketing? You may be wondering. All right, so content marketing kind of looks like blogs. It looks like videos, testimonials, all right? I've been on a couple of nonprofit websites and I realized there's not a lot of testimonials. And in my own personal opinion, yes, nonprofits can still get testimonials. See, it doesn't matter if you help a client base where, who you help, it's confidential. There's still a way that people can leave reviews or leave testimonials. They don't have to put their full name, right? It could be Becky. It could be Rhonda. It could be George. We don't need to know their last name, but we would like to know, how did your organization impact their lives? Ebooks is another form of content marketing, as well as like checklists. Like there's a ton of different types of content marketing, but those are just some of the basics, okay? So the next thing I really want to talk to you guys about is, how do you fit this in your strategy? See, one of the things I really realize when I am talking to, founders or even any type of business owner, right? When it's time to learn something new, they feel even more overwhelmed. I get it. There's especially if you're a solopreneur or you just have an organization where you're doing everything, most of, 80% of the job, it's like, where am I going to find the time, right? However, time management is important, but when it comes to the health of your organization and the potential growth of your organization, you're going to have to find the time, period. All right. So, but I want to share with you potentially a simple strategy on what you could do on finding ways to implement content marketing and what you're currently doing. First, before you really invest in content marketing, you need to identify, who are you trying to attract, okay? So overall, when you think about your overall organization, yes, you want donors. Yes, you want more clients. Yes, you want more supporters. But when you're thinking about, chopping down your overall marketing goal, right, into small campaigns, you have to really identify, for these, small group of marketing efforts, what are we trying to achieve? Okay, so you need to identify, okay, for this time frame, we want to focus on connecting with more donors or connecting with more clients or supporters. Figure that out. Okay, once you figure that out, everything else will follow. Once you identify who you're trying to attract, then I want you to kind of think about, how do they prefer to consume content? How do they prefer to consume content, right? And you may not know this, but that's okay, because how you can figure that out is simply by asking them. You could ask them. You could do a survey. If you have good relationships with the people you're trying to attract, talk to the people in the past, right? Tell them you're working on something new and you want to really grow your organization by connecting with more donors or more supporters, right? And ask them like, hey, do you prefer, when you think about, learning something new, do you prefer to watch a video? Do you prefer to, read an email? Do you prefer to read a blog? Or do you ask those questions, right? And just tally it up. If you notice that most of the people that like videos, then you probably your content marketing should include videos. All right. Very, very, very simple, right? When you keep it simple. All right. So you can ask your audience. You can also check your analytics. Like say, for instance, if you go to Facebook and you look at the content that you've been putting up and you notice that maybe posts that give, like an infographic gets more engagement, or your videos gets more engagement, or people like to read long articles, whatever it is, look at what you've done in the past and figure out what was most successful. And maybe your audience prefers that. Okay. And then sometimes, depending on where you are with your organization, you might just have to do it. Just do it. All right. Just go ahead and just do some type of whatever content marketing you decide to do. Just do it, but analyze it, right? Do it for, a certain period of time, then go back and analyze it and figure out how it went. And then you could identify like, we didn't get a lot of traction. I gave it my all, right? Let's try this, like say, for instance, you say, hey, we're going to go hard with email marketing, right? And you have like a pretty decent list, and obviously you learned about what the proper ways to do email marketing, the benchmarks and the best practices, right? And you're giving valuable content. All of those is check mark, check mark, check mark. But you realize a lot of people aren't really, reading it or engaging, shall I say? Then you might be like, you know what? Now let's go ahead and try video. Just listen, marketing sometimes could just be a big old experiment, and you got to find what works for your organization. Always remember that. You have to find what works for your organization, because there's no other organization that's just like yours. Okay? All right. So once you identify who you want to attract, you identify what type of content they like to consume, then you just start to make that type of content. So like I mentioned earlier, if you realize that your audience likes videos, guess what? It's time to put that nervousness aside and get in front of a camera, right? Because the growth of your organization is at stake, you need to push past that comfort zone. Okay. So, content marketing, when you do it right, it can really, one, save you time, because you can create one big chunk. Let's just say you did a long video of like 30 minutes. Now you could chop that long video up into smaller videos and put them on your social media and, those different type of platforms, right? You can then maybe take that video and have somebody turn it into a blog, right? Like there's so many ways when it comes to investing in content marketing that it could really save you time over time, okay? And it really stakes your claim in the long-term game of marketing, because marketing is a long-term game. It's a marathon, I tell a lot of people. Sales is a sprint, because you can kind of get things going really quickly, but marketing, you got to be vested, right? All right. So if I were to sum it up as why nonprofits should really invest in content marketing. Number one, you get to learn how to communicate the value of your mission and your cause. Because the only way you can bring value to someone is to understand what it is that they care about, and then show them why your solution can help them get them closer to the things that they care about. Okay? Number two, why nonprofits should invest in content marketing. You start to share content strategically. So many times I get people, especially nonprofits, ask me, like, I don't know what to post. Well, when you start to learn about your audience, right, it's easier to understand what they care about. then you begin to post what they care about, right? But when you invest in content marketing, you also, when you take those classes or whatever it may be, or you read those articles, almost every article is going to tell you put together a strategy. Okay, so you have a strategy that kind of, when you do it right, now you know when and what you should be posting. So you're posting with a purpose. The third reason why nonprofits should be investing, probably the most important one, why nonprofits should be investing in content marketing, is because it builds trust. So I know I'm gonna get some people that watch this and say, listen, I just need some money. I need some donors. I need some, some money flowing in our organization because we got things to do. We're trying to grow. Yeah, I get that. But the only way someone is going to open up their purse, open up their wallet, is if they trust what you do. So how do you build trust? Content marketing is one of the ways you bring value, right? You share things that are timely, things that are relevant. You let them know that you know what they care about and how your mission is, together, right? You guys can make things different in the community. Okay, so once people start trusting you, and when you send out that email, that text, that post that says, hey, we are trying to raise X amount of dollars so we can help this community, because they trust you, they're going to say, you know what? I'm going to write this check for $500, because I've been following XYZ organization and they're passionate. They're serious about what they're doing. And I feel very confident that they're going to do what they said they're going to do with the money. That is actually one of the main reasons why a lot of people do not give to smaller organizations, because it's just a lack of trust. They say, listen, I got this extra money coming in. They would like to, invest in grassroots or the smaller organizations. But if you're not investing in your marketing, if you're not showing up online, if you're not showing visibility and say, listen, with or without you, Mr. and Mrs. Donor, I'm going to make a change in my community, without you staking your claim, like you know what you're talking about, you're passionate about your organization, without you doing that, they're going to stay exactly where they are, given to, organizations that is not your organization. So I hope that kind of gave you some insight on why you should be investing in content marketing. As I mentioned always, let's master marketing, all right? Once you master that, you can strengthen your sales and your fundraising and ultimately to leave a legacy. I hope today you will be inspired to transform something in your organization. And as I continue and will continue to say, let's continue to grow.